Hi everyone! Endless Cycle of Pain here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review of the new Dorian Electra album, My Agenda. This is a new collection of tracks from one of the most cutting-edge, daring, and electrifying pop singers out there currently, Dorian Electra. Their debut album, Flamboyant, was one of my favorite LPs from last year. So many stellar tracks on that one that were addictive, eccentric, while also making for sharp commentary on sexuality and gender. I was excited to see where Dorian's work would go next, but I was afraid that wouldn't happen until after the pandemic was over. But being the spoiled, undeserving filth babies we are, they treated us anyway, and the new project that we have here as a result is a mix of strangely brief while also being deeply conceptual. We have 11 tracks on this thing, which total up to 25 minutes. There are quite a few cuts that barely scratch or pass the 2-minute mark. Sorry Bro is somehow a very satisfying bop at just 1 minute and 27 seconds though. A cute auto-tuned hyper-pop anthem about bro love. But in the context of this track list, songs that play more centrally into this album's overall concept do feel a bit lacking. Not only in terms of song structure, but in their potential to add to My Agenda's narrative. Specifically Gentleman and Milady, which originally dropped as a 2-piece teaser, and whose comments on toxic masculinity are pretty clear and scarily accurate. But are they as thorough as they could be? Plus, there's also the matter of some of these tracks sounding so good I'm just dying for more. Milady, for example, being as menacing as it is with its industrial, loud, banging beats and breathy, psychotic lead vocals. Plus, the way those metal riffs hit at a few points of the song, it's as dark and as disturbing as like a classic Nine Inch Nails cut. I guess I should take a moment here to spell out that concept, as this record is a character portrait of sorts of a sword-wielding incel and edgelord, complete with weirdly dominant behavior and regressive views on women and the LGBTQ community. But that is just one layer to My Agenda. The album's purpose goes beyond just being a neckbeard parody. The record is also a satirization of the right's portrayal of an authoritarian LGBT agenda. Dorian pokes at this endearingly on the title track, pointing to evidence of their agenda, their scary agenda. My blog posts, my rainbow suspenders, my pamphlets, jokingly proclaiming it'll infect ya. But by the end of the project, we have Dorian making the homophobe's worst nightmares come true. Love who you want, but don't ram it down my throat, they cry, and Dorian's answer to that is to do exactly that. The intolerant incel protagonist suddenly reforms into a glutton for punishment, and that punishment is acceptance of others, which I guess is rammed down their throat to the point where it restricts their breathing, which again, they like that. These feelings are mostly explored on the closer, which as a single didn't quite make sense because the narrative was sort of coming out of nowhere, with lyrics reading like, "Thank you for my punishment and I'm grateful for the way you're choking my neck and not letting me breathe." Also likening this treatment to being effed in the face for 100 days. As awful as our incel character is here, this feels weirdly non-consensual. That being said though, quite the leaf is turned on this project, it really is. But the brevity of this album causes its concept to unfold in such a rush, and I just wish there was more time taken with it to explore it and fill in some of the gaps that are caused by jumping very quickly from part of character portrait to part of character portrait, from progression to progression. That being said though, the music and production on this project is somehow bolder and more experimental and more abrasive than many cuts on Flamboyant, while also smartly mirroring the lyrical concepts of the project, because as much as this project is a teardown of cringe and incel culture, Dorian is also reappropriating these aesthetics too and attempting to turn them into conceptual art. So that's why repeatedly you're getting hit with these edgy metal guitars and just about every brand of blaring aggressive electronic music. BROSTEP and gabber and some break beats to trap. There's the opener F the World, which kicks off with these eerie, romantic lead melodies, eventually giving way to these distorted hardcore kicks and bass, then a dubstep breakdown. There is a feature from The Garden on this track too, and as soon as they pop into frame, there's a bunch of drum and bass going on in the background, like the beats are bustling and disorienting. Like, it's really a roller coaster of so many sounds. It's kind of mind-blowing. Also, I came out of this thing loving My Agenda's chugging metal guitars, the industrially tinged beat, and those insane rushes of vocal harmonies from The Village People. Yes, The Village People. Then the track Iron Fist reads like a cringy monologue from a power-hungry anime villain. The production soundtracks this pretty perfectly too, with its grand bells and macho guitar soloing and devilish vocal manipulations. Get down on the floor. Then the song EDGELORD not only features a great vocal appearance from Rebecca Black, yes, that Rebecca Black, but also these freakish lead vocals and harsh glitches. Very odd synth melodies too that are so faint in the mix but somehow still stand out because of how misshapen they feel. Then the track Ram It Down features these operatic vocal harmonies that ride so high in the mix over driving hardcore kicks on the chorus. It's so tacky, but it's so artsy. We also have these dark, groovy 2000s era diva pop beats on the verses, more chugging metal riffs, the deafening screams by the end of the track of ram it down. Like, holy shit, this is mind-blowing. Sonically, My Agenda is so weirdly shapen and so unhinged, but I guess there's definitely a method to the madness that I admire. So at the end of the day, do I like this as much as Flamboyant? I don't think I do, but I still think My Agenda is an incredibly creative, colorful, and fearless project whose biggest flaw really is that it left me desperate for more. Feeling a strong 7 to a light 8 on this one. Transition, have you given this album a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best, you're the best. What should I review next? Hit the like if you like. Please subscribe and please don't cry. Hit the bell as well. Over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Dorian Electra, forever.